right, let's fire this up. Howdy doody. All right, let's clean the screen here. We're still working on the Windex multi-purpose. We still got some left. It's not a lot. It's like a drizzle. But I think that's it, actually. I mean, there's a drizzle, but I think this will be the last time we use the multi-purpose. It's time to go back to the standard blue Windex, which, of course, is the high-quality stuff anyway. You can always just put some Windex on it. That's the correct solution to so many problems. Put some Windex on it. Okay, so anyway, I have been experimenting over the course of the past week with using 3D models again, because that's important. And Clip Studio Paint has just released version 3.0. So I went and I got me version 3.0, because of course I did. And things being what they are at the moment, what I'd done was, first of all, I bought it with Clippy rather than with cash, so that or not with Clippy, but with gold rather than cash, so that I could use PayPal to do it, because I use PayPal for everything. Excuse me. So anyway, I bought it with gold rather than cash, which meant I had to buy 6,000 gold through Celsius in order to buy the upgrade to Clip Studio Paint, which was going to be 5,040 gold. So I ended up with like 960 left over. But here's the good part. Because the exchange rate of the Japanese yen is kind of in the toilet right now, instead of paying $10 for 1,000 gold, I only had to pay about $7. So I ended up paying like $42 for the upgrade to Clip Studio Paint, and then I had 960 gold left over. I don't know what the fuck I'm going to do with it, but I went browsing around and I picked up this lamppost. And the lamppost is not bad. You know, I got several of them. This is the one that I'm using in the image. But I got a number of other lampposts, and some of them are much nicer in terms of what I'm actually looking for in a lamppost. They have the 6-sided thing going on instead of the 4-sided thing. But I'm working with this one just as a kind of rough sketch thingy. And I'm kind of working around the concept of getting reference together and whatnot. I don't know how useful 3D models are in the composition and painting process. I just don't find them especially useful. Because so far it's like you see a lot of people that are just like, oh, you can throw the 3D models in there and just trace over them. No, you can't. You can't just trace over them any more than you can take a photograph of your artist mannequin, like the little bodycon figures. You can't just take a picture of these and slap that into your drawing program and trace over top of them. Nope, not how it works. It'll get you started, but it's not really going to do a whole lot. I mean, especially since what I'm doing here is I'm trying to do a particular kind of outfit, and I got a bunch of reference that I put together that we'll talk about here. And the first thing is I kind of have this outfit in mind. Like here's what Chio wore the first time that I drew her, okay? And it's not a bad outfit by any stretch of the imagination, but this is not the outfit that I'm looking for her to be wearing in this new piece. What I'm looking for is more along the lines of this. Let me come up here and turn off my 3D models and my my construction layer. See, what I'm looking for is more of this kind of thing, okay? And I'm not 100% sold on this. There's a bunch of other reference in here that, let me put the construction back. So we were working with that. I'll leave the 3D models off for now. But actually, I'll just bear in mind that the construction layer was what I was working at. And anyway, here's the sort of thing that I'm looking for. Mostly what I'm interested in here is this two-tone skirt with this little, let me turn on a sketch layer I can work on. Yeah. The main thing that I'm interested in is this kind of draped look here. I sort of like that. I think that looks good. I think this sort of look will be good for Chio, and I like the two-tone thing. And I'm kind of thinking of this green here. I want that green to be sort of lighter. If I grab this kind of raspberry color and I come over here to let's open up a raster layer and let's put this on palette. Now I was thinking that what I can do is a kind of I can have this, or actually that's not. If I do this kind of raspberry thing going on up here, okay, if that's sort of the color that we're working with on that top layer, then I was thinking this green over here. Now this green on this, that's too bright of a green. I don't like the way that ends up looking. So what I was thinking in terms of was maybe what I can do is more of like a lighter, sort of this thing, kind of more of a mint green. I don't know, maybe darker than that. No, we still want to go very light, maybe more saturated. Maybe if I come up here, maybe if we do something like this. Something like this for her dress, if we're looking at kind of a light green. And then we can also do that here. We can have this kind of light green for the sleeves here, and then we can still do the raspberry highlights. And I'm kind of going back and forth on this, but I really like the idea of that. And then, of course, there is the option of going the other way with this, because we could go with a kind of a raspberry shirt. We could go with a raspberry shirt. I'm not sure whether I want her to be wearing gloves or not. The model here is wearing gloves, but we could also do kind of, and if we do that, then we should do a sort of bold, dark green. If we did that, and then we did more of a, if we did kind of that pinkish, did that pink for the bodice right in here, then that might be a good look. I think I want it more, in the raspberry vicinity though. Something more like maybe that. Less saturated. Maybe something like this. I'm still not 100% decided on this, but I do really like the structure of these arms here. And if we went with pink and green highlights, if we had this sort of raspberry pink, no, that needs to be darker than that, doesn't it? Yeah, it needs to be, this needs to be bolder. That can still be kind of lightened up, desaturated a bit. Maybe something like that. And we could do that kind of thing, and that might work. It needs to be more in this vicinity, I think. More of this color. But that's kind of the direction that I'm thinking with. And the thing is, I don't like these buckles here on this. And what I'm thinking more along the lines of is I've got some various reference material here, and let's pull up the elements. And we've got two sort of bodice elements that I was looking at, and this one right here. Let's go back to our raster layers, and we'll go back to our palette where everything is being drawn. I like this kind of laced look, and I was thinking maybe, and this is just sort of spitballing, maybe we do the green like so, but then we have the laces in pink. Maybe that's a thing we can do. And then we can do that kind of cotton candy pink underneath of that. I kind of like the look of that, and maybe we do like ruffles and lace in this kind of pink, and then we can have the more saturated pink in here, and have the more saturated pink in here for the shirt, but then we can have this kind of cotton candy pink in the trim right here around the sleeves and whatnot. I was thinking we could do something like that. But I also really like this one right here with the buttons and the bows. Those bows would be really good to do in a kind of pink. And then we could have the green background. No, not that. The green, like so. We could have the green background. But we could also do the saturated raspberry kind of color like this, and then we could use this lighter green there. We could do that for the bows, or even something even lighter. So we got a lot of options on color scheme, and we got a lot of options on accessories and whatnot, but design is the main thing that I'm looking at here, and kind of the thing that I'm looking at is I'm working out of this book here, which is my my little Japanese book on Lolita fashion, which, as you can tell, I'm interested in the clothes. It's not about little girls, it's about the clothes. And here's another view of the skirt. I liked this kind of skirt too, and I was thinking maybe if we have like the green down here, or you know what? I like the raspberry. I like the idea of the raspberry down here. So that we have that kind of raspberry color down on the bottom, but then on the top, we'll have the kind of green overlayer, and we could do this kind of pink over here. I'm not sold on any particular color scheme yet, but I am thinking about like all the stuff that I could do and all the different layouts I could achieve on this. And I do think there's a rich tapestry of things that I could work with here. And if we do this kind of cotton candy for the, wow, all that pink, and I managed to grab the black. We could do that kind of cotton candy thing here, and we could still do the cotton candy down here as well. Although, let's see, what else do I have here? Now, Chio's shoes were kind of these standard heels before, but I'm thinking that we really want to do these sort of chunky Mary Janes and this kind of thing with her, especially if she's going to be wearing this kind of outfit. And I also have this neat little reference on how to do drill hair, which you can't really see because it's behind all of the little notes and whatnot that I made. So I pull that, but you can see that there's a bunch of stuff on there about how to draw drill hair appropriately, and it's got some tips and tricks and techniques and some Japanese text that I haven't translated because, God, I'm so demoralized trying to translate all this shit. But yeah, I've got all of these elements to work with, and I have this core reference, and I have this original picture, and you can see that we're doing kind of a modification, but it's not a huge modification. And just a second. It is that time of year. My allergies are bugging the hell out of me. So yeah, we've got those are sort of the direction that we're going on this, and then on top of that, I would like to do a better job than I did on the original picture of Chio. So if we turn the reference off here, and then we go and we turn our construction and our 3D models back on, you can see that I did some basic posing and some basic perspective with the 3D models, but that is about it. And if I turn that off, this is sort of the rough-in that I've got together for this, which I feel like this has helped me visualize things, and that's useful, but it's certainly not as helpful as everybody seems to act like it is. I mean, it hasn't made that big of a difference. It did, however, let me kind of mess around and go, how do the scales work on this? And what I kind of want to do here is, here's this construction layer, and let me come over here. I want to kind of put the moon in the background over here, and probably like off to the side. I want to do like some misty clouds in the background and have this kind of atmospheric sky. So it's late at night, and we've got Chio standing on top of the street light, and the street light is lighting her from underneath. And you can see that I've got kind of the lighting of that 3D model set up properly. So a lot of this is in shadow. And I think that'll look really cool because it'll just make her look feral and predatory, which is exactly the way I want her to look. I still kind of want her to turn a little bit more toward the viewer. And what I've got is this idea that she's kind of standing on top of this lamppost looking down at you. And behind her back, she's holding one of those big machetes like Reina has in Higurashi no Nakokoro ni. Let me see if I've got a picture of that. I do have a picture of Reina, but I do not have a picture of I don't immediately have a picture of her with the I don't think this is the machete that I'm thinking of. But yeah, it is. Okay, so yeah. This thing right here. Well, it's kind of small. So let's pull that out. Yeah, so it's this kind of machete-looking thing that that Rene is always running around with in Higurashi no Nakokoro ni, and this really needs to move down into my reference folder. So let me drag that down here, and I'll rename that layer Rena so I know what it is. Not like I can't tell just by looking at it, but always name your fucking layers, you know? So what she's got is she's got this kind of machete thing behind her back, and you're supposed to just see the edge of it peeking out from behind her skirt. And that's that little hint that something's not right. And I don't know whether I want to be quite so obvious as to put like blood and shit on it, but I might do that. That might be a thing that I do. I just wanted to have that kind of concealed behind her back. Not 100% concealed, but concealed enough that you might not see it. And then you just see it a little bit peeking out. You're like, wait a minute. This girl's not just creepy, she's dangerous. Well, that should be obvious for the expression on her face, actually. But it's the outfit more than anything that really kind of features in this scene. So, so that's kind of the direction that I'm thinking about driving things. And let me put the palette back up. And let me switch to that palette. And let me start kind of saving some of the colors that I'm working with here, so I have them hanging around when I need them. I think that's about it. So yeah. So I can actually take the rest of this and just lasso all of that and delete it because we don't need it. I can deselect that and recenter. So that's kind of the stuff that we're working on. I do think I need to get some other things from the reference folder, like the color of her hair and the skin tone. Probably a good idea to grab. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Maybe grab the original shirt color, the original dress color. I think that is about it. Eye color. I should grab eye color. Definitely eye color. All right. So yeah, there we go. There's our palette, and now I can turn off that reference, or at least I can turn off the original Chio, and I can turn off Rena. Don't really need her. Now this kind of outfit right here, I need to do some thinking about, because okay, so here's Chio with her Here's Chio with one leg up. Here. So she's got one leg up here, like so, okay? And the skirt is kind of pulling down across that. So here we have a sort of a ruffle. It's going across, and then it's coming up. And here it's bunching at the knee, and it would stretch back. Here's another ruffle here or thereabouts. Here's her other leg. It's kind of sitting over here like this. So the main thing here is thinking about the differences in how the outfit ends up looking, because she's kind of leaning on her knee here. And then up here, we would get sort of the bodice. And here's the top of that shirt, and here's whatever she's wearing on top of that. And it looks like this would kind of stretch across here. Like, I'm not sure how that would look. I don't know that these sleeves actually, I don't know that those sleeves are going to work very well. I don't know that those sleeves are going to end up working well with this. So, okay, let's back up here. Rather substantially. And let's think in terms of how we want to approach this. Now, okay, let me turn off this this other reference here. Let me just turn off the whole reference folder. And I think what I want to do is I want to kind of think in terms of coloring. So if we come over here to our flat color and we go substantially larger, then she's going to have her face right here. Here's going to be arm. There's going to be a little bit of leg here, but that is mostly going to be foot. And that those shoes are going to be that kind of bright raspberry color. You're going to have these bright raspberry shoes. And then we're doing a kind of pink lace. If I just think in terms of the color composition, we got pink lace here. And then we've got, how are we going to do this? I think I want to do the raspberry skirt, and we'll have that kind of sweeping lace, or ruffle rather. We'll have that ruffle come down across here. Have that ruffle come across here, and then we'll do kind of a green color. Comes up here. And then we'll kind of do the pink for the decor there. we'll do that pink underneath it, alongside of that. Our skin tone here, and then we were gonna do kind of the green bodice here. And then up here, we're gonna have more raspberry. Let's do a darker raspberry up top. And then we'll have a raspberry top on the sleeves here. But then we'll do the light green for the sleeves as they come across. And yeah. So just a hint of that arm coming back there. And of course, on the head, we have the blonde hair, and it's the drill format, and this is coming out of the hat, which is a darker green color. So that's sort of what we end up with, is this girl up here, and then we want a kind of not just the side of that. Let's and then we get that sort of thing there. And if we turn off the 3D models, and we just kind of take a look at the composition as we have it now, and turn off the construction, just sort of look at, so let's look at what we've got on that, which is just sort of a rough estimate of the color composition we're looking at here. Then up here in the top, we've got the moon. Should be fairly large. And in the background, we will have a kind of a dark purplish blue. But you know, we'll do this kind of dark purplish blue down here, darker than that. Kind of a dark purplish blue down by the ground. Let's do that with the airbrush. Actually, what I should do is refer only to editing layer. Let's go black to start with, and then we'll go this sort of purplish blue. And we'll just kind of soft airbrush. So if I go very light, I just go. And then maybe let's take this fingertip smudge tool and maybe pull the... What if we go somewhat smaller with that and we just sort of pull the... What if we just pull that down? Just kind of pull the black downward. Kind of like the idea of this, but let's... Let's try and make it more... A little bit more oppressive. And what if we do kind of wider strips like this, and then we'll come back in and we'll go wider and just kind of... We can just go back and forth and sort of create this kind of oppressive look to it. Maybe we just kind of drive everything at an angle, like so. I don't dislike this, but I'm not happy with it either. If I pull the hardness down. Well, first of all, the processing gets way slower. But I am working across a very large area. So. Maybe I want to go a little bit deeper and darker the edges. There we go. Something kind of like that, I think. And then when we get the shading in the front of things, obviously I want to like texture in the moon somewhat. But when I get some shading done on this, when I do a I'm liking this sort of I am liking this kind of dark, oppressive thing that's going on where she's like silhouetted against the night sky and there's not a whole lot else going on. It feels like it's going to be a scene. It's going to feel like a complete scene. And that's going to fall in there, and this sort of, and just kind of having the, it's kind of having the lights framed, and if I do a sort of yellow glow around the lights, that'll help too. So that's kind of that's the direction that I'm thinking on this, and holy crap, it's been 40-some minutes. But yeah, this is just kind of me talking through the whole process on it and saying, this is the thing that I'm working on. This is the piece that I'm trying to do. And I want to do a substantially better job than I've been doing on things. I think I've been pushing way too hard to get things done and not pushing hard enough on quality. So I want to kind of focus in on that. There's a lot of detail that will not read on this. Like I don't think it matters what style of bodice that I have, because if you look at the bustier here that's up underneath the breast, this bit about her midriff, you can't see it. Her arm's blocking it, and the way she's leaning over, it's not going to make a difference. So I shouldn't waste too much time thinking about that. I do want to make it look. I do want to make it look more realistic in terms of construction than I typically spend time on with clothing. That's important. I like how just the tip of that axe is peeking out over there. I'm going to have to work on the idea of making that kind of, I want to make it kind of stand out, but not make it too obtrusive. And of course, I still need to figure out the lamps, because I want these lamps here. I don't want these lamps to be I don't want them to be simple four-sided lamps. I want them to be six-sided. So I've got to kind of convert them into the thing that I want them to be. And over here, we want the lamp to sort of obstruct the view of her foot a little bit. And same over here, because she's standing on it. So we kind of want the rim of the lamp to be obstructing the view of her foot. I got to figure out how to make six-sided lamps look not stupid. Which I will probably do by popping open the 3D models and grabbing one of these six-sided lamps. Let me create a new image and pull one of these in here. And you can see that if we rotate, oh, that's not the right one. Yeah. So let's, that's the wrong thing. Where's scale? Is it here? There we go. So working from that, if we turn this around, you can see that this is a six-sided lamp, and that's the shape that I want for it. But I'm not very happy with this lamp as a structure. I'm really much happier with the triple layout here. You can see that this one's sort of laid out in that direction. But I'm not very good at working with the 3D models in here yet, so I'm going to have to mess around with it somewhat, see what I can do. And I'm going to have to construct something that I'm happy with. I want this style of light, but I want it six-sided like that, which is kind of problematic for some reason. And I don't really know how to mess around with 3D models and make them look right, so I need to mess around with that and figure out how I'm going to do it, and somehow get all of this stuff together in a way that that I have a reasonable guide. But yeah, that's like, it's the thing I'm trying to do here, is I'm just trying to kind of get this put together and make it look decent. And that has not been going especially well this week. But yeah, that's where things are. That's kind of where I'm working, and I don't know. That's kind of all there is to talk about. Except that, like a typical moron, the Steam Spring Sale came on, and I went, "Ooh, Dungeon Keeper Gold, Iwaihime! I could pick up the last DLC for Graveyard Keeper." And oh, while I'm here, I may as well pick up this free-to-play thing, Antimatter Dimensions. And then I spent 2.5 days playing Antimatter Dimensions, and went and bought a bunch of games on sale, and then played this free-to-play piece of garbage for 2 days straight. But it's kind of amusing. I'm enjoying it. So much as you can enjoy one of these free-to-play pieces of crap. I like the way this is sort of working out. I do want to do like some clouds in front of the moon, but you wouldn't really be able to see the clouds that well. They would just be kind of very vaguely visible. So I'm not too concerned about that. But I do think the layout of this is much more interesting than your typical fake Instagram portrait sort of thing. I was mentioning this last week that Tish Fee always always makes sure to incorporate the environment into her posing. And that's been like a huge inspiration to me in terms of how I want to construct scenes. And Frank Frazetta is one of many people who, whatever they draw, is it's in medias res. You're in the middle of a story. Something is happening. You're not just there. You know, there is a story going on that you are observing, and it's something that you can see happening. It's something that you know is taking place, and I like it when the viewer's part of that story. When it's like you're going to be forced to participate in this. This has something to do with you. And, you know, a great example of that is that there's that picture at a party of... yeah, this thing right here. This thing. Everybody knows this. It's like you don't know what you just walked in on, but you know you shouldn't have walked in on it, and you kind of wish you didn't. So that's very much that's the sort of vibe that I look for in stuff. The idea that here you are in this situation and you have to deal with this situation, and it's probably an unpleasant one, because that's my experience at parties. You walk into a party and you open your mouth and you say something and everybody looks at you like that. It's awkward and it's embarrassing, but sooner or later you learn to just revel in it and go, yep, here I am, saying cringy shit as usual. Anyway, that's pretty much where we are this week. God, and here we are in 52 minutes. Do the little YouTube dance, like, comment, subscribe, all that happy horse shit. And, okay, bye.